it's Leo, and it's time to talk about the third episode from Tropical-Rouge Precure, the debut of the amazingly cute Cure Coral. I had high expectations for her debut. I always have good expectations for the debuts of the Cures, but I can say all my expectations have been met. Everything's been even better than what I was expecting. I really liked Sango, Manatsu, and everything about this episode. So let's talk about it. I think that one of the things that I'm really loving is the interaction between Manatsu and Laura. They had this little quarrel in the second episode, and now it seems that they are very comfortable with each other. Manatsu teases Laura a lot, and it's very fun to see how the series is playing their relationship. I am really liking it. Right at the start, we see like Laura trying to play a little bit, like, no, I'm not going shopping with you. And Manatsu says, if you behave, you can go with me. And she's like, no, I'm not. But if you insist. But Manatsu wasn't caring at all, so she just went out by herself and left Laura there. And so she went shopping with the friends she made at school. Manatsu is a lovely character. I'm loving her a lot. I'm loving her personality. She reminds me a lot of Hikaru, the protagonist of Star Twinkle Precure. You can see that I love Star Twinkle Precure. And she reminds me a lot of Hikaru, especially in this episode. She reminded me a lot of her. So Manatsu is enjoying her life. Manatsu wants to enjoy her tropical life. She wants to make friends. She wants to go shopping. She wants to enjoy her new life in Awazora City. And she is definitely doing that. So she goes shopping with her friends, with the people that she met at school. And among those friends, Sango is there with them as well. And so we get to see a dynamic between Sango and the rest of the girls and Manatsu and the rest of the girls. And I think that this is very important because the episode basically makes this the main narrative of the episode. How does Sango react to the girls and how does Manatsu react to the girls? They are complete opposites, they are totally different, and that pans out to work with Sango's personality. So we see Manatsu dealing with herself. Like, she wants to enjoy things to the fullest and she doesn't follow what the other girls are doing. She just does what she is feeling and she doesn't really care about fitting in. She just wants to enjoy herself. That's so Hikaru to me, and I love this personality trait. And so like she goes on shopping and she doesn't care about what the other girls think it's cute or adorable. She has her own way of seeing things. When they go buy ice cream, they all get the same flavor. She gets a different flavor. She gets a very tropical flavor, which is a tropical mango. Like, she really wants to tropicalize as best as she can. And so Sango, on the other hand, is the opposite. Sango wants to fit in. She doesn't want to stand out. She wants to have the same opinion as the rest. She wants to follow what the others are doing. And even though sometimes it seems that she wants to do something different, she always fails to do so. She fits in. She tries her best to fit in. And Sango starts noticing that Manatsu has this different flavor about her. And well, she starts seeing that her own way can be prejudicial to herself. Well, it definitely can, Sango. And so we see the girls going to the aquarium again. And again, in the aquarium, the talk is mermaids. I think that this is gonna play out somehow. There are lots of things about mermaids in Awazora City. So I wonder if this is just legend or if it's part of the Tropical-Rouge lore that we're gonna learn in the future. I'm curious. We're gonna go back to this a little later in this video. So Manatsu and the other girls go to the aquarium. They see the dugong again. And so they start talking about mermaids. But Sango ends up getting lost because she is helping someone. This is another thing that is very big about Sango. She is always very kind and trying to help other people. And in this situation in the aquarium, she gets lost and then she meets Laura. Laura was there. Laura was very bored. for being at home. I don't understand how Laura got there, but it does not matter. What matters is that Laura met Sungo. Sungo was shocked. She's like, are you a robot? Are you real? Are you a toy? And Laura was like, girl, I'm the real thing. But again, it's not only a simple meeting. It is funny. It is so full of personality. We see like Sungo saying, you're cute. And Laura's like, I know, thank you. You know, I love Laura. Like, Laura is the queen. And every time she is on screen, it's gonna be a delight. And I still think she is the star. She was the star of this episode once more. Even though this episode was not about her, even though this episode showed less Laura than the past episodes, she was still the star. And so they interact a little bit, and Sungo meets her for the first time. The pact does not react. She's not a precure. She's not fit to be a precure. Well, and so after that, we have a special talk between the girls and Manatsu and Sungo, and the girls start saying that the mermaids might look like dugongs because they must have funny faces, they must not be beautiful, they must not be cute. And so Sungo just saw a mermaid and she was trying to speak out, but she couldn't. She can't speak out to defend her point of view. If her point of view is not the same as the rest of the people that are with her, she can't defend it. She just can't discuss things. She just can't defend her point of view. And that ended up kind of hurting her. But Manatsu does not care about what they're saying. She thinks that dugong is very cute. Manatsu has like this peculiar taste of liking weird stuff, like what people consider weird. She doesn't care at all. I love her. And so we see Sungo in her room. Her room is super adorable, full of coral decorations, so cute. She was there wondering, what can I do to be different? And so on the other day at school, we see her with Manatsu, and you know, she's trying to be different. She is trying to speak up for herself. And she goes to the roof with Manatsu, even though the other girls didn't want to go. Like, we can see that she is trying her best to change, and now there's Manatsu. She can be a catalyst for her change. And then she tells her story in the roof, saying that when she was a child, she planted a bulb of tulips that were purple, and she was the only one that didn't choose pink. So she wanted to fit in, even though other people did not care about that at all. She wanted to fit in. That also reminded me a little bit of Elena from Star Twinkle. She had more or less the same problem. At this point, Laura already met Sungo, so Laura intervened. And I liked that scene a lot, because Laura is someone who has no filters. She says what's on her mind. When someone tells you something like this, you talk to the person. You say, look, I think you should stand up for yourself. You should defend what you like. You shouldn't be afraid of other people or what other people would say. But Laura's not like that. Laura's like, are you stupid? Girl, wake up. And I loved it. Sometimes I feel like we need to listen to someone like Laura, someone who has no filter at all, to see how dumb we're being in our own brains. So we need that for us to wake up. So I loved Laura at that point. And so Manatsu saw that Sungo had already met Laura, and Manatsu says that Sungo should be a precure. She would be a nice precure. But Laura says that the pact didn't react to her. She can't be a precure. And so we have the Aranidas attacking again. We have Shongire attacking once more. And the monster starts stealing motivation from people, and Manatsu goes with Laura to fight against the Aranida. At this point, we see the three friends, and they start saying that they saw a mermaid with the monster. So they think the mermaids are the villains. There are two things to consider here. The first one, we are in episode 3, and they are already talking about mermaids, and like they are mentioning that mermaids are around them in a way, and the monsters are around them. Like, people are aware of them very early on in the season. I wonder if it's gonna play out. Like, are people gonna go after to learn more about mermaids, about the cures and everything? Is this gonna be a plot from Tropical-Rouge? I don't know. And the second one is that this scene is very important because it's the first time that Sungo, it's actually the second time, but it's like the first time she really stands up for something she believes in, which is mermaids aren't bad. Mermaids are pretty, mermaids are cute, and she goes after Manatsu, and she actually watches Monotsu transform into Cure Summer. The fight, again, another big delight. They're not holding back in fights at all. We can see Cure Summer running around and kicking some ass. I really loved it, but she needed a little help. That scene was very funny where Monotsu got hit and she fell over Laura. I mean, Cure Summer got hit and she fell over Laura. And then Sungo was watching everything, and Sungo started believing in her own cuteness, in her own personality, and that changed things. And because of what Laura and because of what Monotsu told her, she started seeing herself in a different way, and that resonated with the power of the Pretty Cure, and she became a Pretty Cure. Yes, Cure Coral was born. I loved it. I love her transformation so much. There's a video here on the channel with me reacting to her transformation. I love it. So pretty. Oh my god. And after she transformed, before she transformed, there was a very pretty scene when we see the camera like going around her. I was like, wow, work, toy animation. That was so pretty. I loved it. And then after she transformed, we have a nice scene of Cure Coral too, and then she starts fighting. She does a very nice defensive power. I love it with the cross, like with this X in front of her. I really like it. Like visually, it's very pretty. And it matches Sungo a little bit, I think. And at the same time, we can see both of them, Cure Coral and Cure Summer, running and fighting together. That was super adorable. They are able to defeat the monster. And we see Cure Coral's solo attack, which is flawless. I am loving the solo attacks from this season. Cure Summer's attack is flawless. Cure Coral's attack is flawless. Oh my god. Loving every second. So obviously after that, we see Coral, Sungo actually realizing that she became a Cure Summer, hugging her, very, very sweet. A very, very special moment, a very special episode. And now Sungo is learning to stand up for what she believes in. She doesn't really want to blend in anymore. She wants to have her own cuteness, have her own personality. I loved it. Some things to talk about in this episode. We have a store that is called Doki Doki Happiness, which is clearly a reference to past Precure seasons. Doki Doki Precure, Happiness Charge Precure. I loved it so much. I love when they put those little things there. Very cute. And another thing that we need to talk about, mermaids. So we have statues of mermaids around Aozora City. We saw in episode 1, I don't remember if we saw it in episode 2, but we saw it again in episode 3. We have a different statue this time around in a different place. So mermaids are part of Aozora City, at least visually, at least culturally. People talk about them. People talk about them in the aquarium. There are statues of them around the city. Why? Why are they part of culture in Aozora City? Is it just because it is close to the sea, or is there something more there? I think it's tied to the past of the Queen of Grand Ocean. I think she also had a relationship between with a human, a relationship between the Queen and the human. I really think that this is something that happened in Tropical-Rouge. Cure Coral's debut, amazing. I loved every second of it. Tropical-Rouge is being such a delight for us. What a great, great start of a season. Loving every second. In next episode, we are gonna meet Cure Papaya. I already loved the preview. Midori writing a love story between herself and a mermaid. Girl, I loved it already, and I cannot wait to see more of Cure Papaya. Next week, we are gonna meet her, but for now, let's enjoy Cure Coral. What about you? What was your opinion on episode 3 from Tropical-Rouge? Leave in the comments and let's keep talking. Anyways, I just want to take this little time to thank the members of the Magical Cinnamon channel. If you are a member, thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for believing in Magical Cinnamon. And if you've watched up until now, thank you so much as well. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, Tropic adios!